Hello, and welcome to another edition of SU Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Rachel Cataldo, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by the head coach of the crew team here at Susquehanna, Jim Grose. Thanks for joining me today, Coach.
Rachel, thanks for having me.
Of course. So for those watching that might not be familiar with the sport of rowing, can you tell us a little bit more about the sports and what events Susquehanna regularly competes in?
Not many universities have all the requirements to have this sport on campus. You need water, right? You need a rowing shell. You need the oars that propel the shell, and you need electronic equipment just to put a single boat on the water, and this stuff is very expensive. It's not like a lot of other sports where you can pick up a team and go out and play a game of basketball or softball or that kind of thing. I have always felt that rowing is the ultimate team sport because every single movement in the boat is performed by each crew member exactly the same way at exactly the same time. It takes lots of practice working together in order to make this happen. When we race, in terms of the physical actions, we race a 2,000-meter race. It's about 1.25 miles, and it is a sprint. So it's like an 8-minute sprint, 1.25 miles. So in terms of preparation physically, you really need to do a lot of preps. We have 2 seasons. Fall season, we take all comers at Susquehanna. We strive to offer the opportunity to learn the sport to anybody who's interested. And so no prior experience needed. We spend the fall season teaching new rowers the technique. At the end of the fall season, typically we'll race maybe 2 or 3 regattas. One of them is usually on our home water, which is sort of nice. Get to have some campus people there.
So where does the team, I know you mentioned the home course, so where does the team compete as a home course, and then where does the team travel to for away courses?
Our home water is on the Susquehanna River, about 15 minutes to the north of here, across the river from Sunbury. We row on Lake Augusta. Lake Augusta is formed by the largest inflatable dam in the world. And as far as where we compete everywhere from Binghamton, New York to DC. So, we pretty much span the Mid-Atlantic region. The
club rowing team has been around for several years at Susquehanna, so what would you say some of the highlights of the program are?
Well, personally, I have a personal highlight. I like to see new rowers get it, if you understand what I mean. It's like when you're bowling and you throw that perfect strike, you want to do it again. Same way with golf, you get a good hit, you want to do it again. And I can always see it in their eyes when they're, they have got hooked, basically. In terms of the team highlights, we race in probably 6 or 8 various venues, and in nearly every one of those venues over the years, we have brought medals home, with the exception of Dad Vales, which is the largest collegiate race in the country. And we almost did, but we didn't quite make that yet. So
is that a future goal of the team then?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So switching gears a little bit, the team is now working on its biggest fundraiser, Ergathon, where the team raises money for PA wounded warriors, as well as the team. Can you talk about that and what goes into Ergathon?
We like to end our winter season, which is spent indoors rowing these machines, which is not nearly as much fun as being in a boat. But at any rate, we end it with this fundraiser. Basically, our Ergathon consists of 2 goals. One is a monetary goal, and the other is a distance goal. This year, we're going to hopefully raise $4,000 total. And row 500,000 meters, so 500,000 meters. These are actually both lower goals this year. We have a bit of a small team. Over the last, I think we've done this 6 years now. We've donated $1,000 to Haven Ministries, and then we switched to the Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors Incorporated, And to date, we have donated $11,000 to that organization. And that would be 50% of the money we've raised in 6 years. The rest is of course, our fundraiser for our team. Being a club sport, you know, fundraising is a big deal.
Right,
So,
fundraising is key. We
yes.
talked about the fall season a little bit, so now looking ahead into the current spring season. The team was just in South Carolina for a spring training trip, so how did it go and what did you see out of the team?
Spring training, spring break / training, okay? Kids still have fun, but we also work hard. We spend around 5 hours a day on the water. That equals more time on the water than we will ever get back here on campus the entire spring season. So they get lots of practice. There's lots of team bonding happening. What I see at the end of that type of, at the end of spring training is immense improvement in technique. Also, you know, we give the team members opportunities to row with different people and row in smaller boats, which is it's just a lot of fun. But basically, the improvements made on the water are just outstanding.
Okay, well that's all the time we have on this edition of SU Coach's Corner. Thank you again, Coach Grose, for joining us. I'm your host, Rachel Cataldo. Thanks for watching.